Well,
Here we are.
you want to intro it? I know it's your favorite thing to do. Welcome to Candid Vlogs by Milagros and Analisa. Day, what? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day 5. Day 5 of our US trip and year 4 of us knowing each other. We were realizing how long we've known each other through the internet, but we never actually met in person until now. And apparently everyone keeps asking if we're related, if we're sisters or cousins. Like, they don't believe that.
We're not related.
It seems to me like they think
don't
we're
know,
pulling
I
their
think-
leg.
Yeah.
When we say like, oh no, we're just friends, they're like, but you're like related, right?
I think it must be the hair. I don't know what other things, because I don't know. What's the hair? The fact that we've got curly hair. We're more or less the same height.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the
Round
rounded
face.
face, maybe?
Our noses don't even look the same.
No, and Lisa's don't. So we're not sisters. We're not even related. She's from,
My family comes from the Ancash department, specifically Wadi.
and I'm from Arequipa, born in Arequipa, with roots from Puno and Huancayo. Actually, I think my dad's from Huancayo. Anyway.
Definitely
that's why
mestiza.
I had really curly. Well, she's got curlier hair than me, which is
We found a better way to do this vlog because I was like
Small.
getting the shaky arm. There
That's
we go.
better.
That's better. Although the people at home will think that you're taller than me.
I'm not
And
taller
that's
than
not
you.
right.
I'm small. I'm on
Here,
a
let's
chair.
do. Here, we'll stand back. Let's walk back and show them.
Yay! So she's taller.
So I was asking Milagros when the first time was that we actually made contact.
So I just arrived in Peru the first week of September. So we were at September the 4th, 5th. I had a video on YouTube. So it's just
Year-
about 2011.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, 2011. So I had a video on YouTube, and she made a comment more or less about the end of September. So she said, "Hi, my name's Annalisa." I think I said that. And good luck with what you're doing, and I hope community supports you for hopefully having an open mind towards my birth search. I'm like, oh wow, there's someone that's responding back to me. Because since then, it was sort of like me trying to find out as many Peruvian adopters as I could at that stage. I didn't know how to reply to YouTube comments, so I waited till I got home. And then I looked up your Peruvian community, and I think I sent you a message.
Which was Nuestra.
Which was
Yeah.
Nuestra, Herencia, Peruvian Adoptee, saying,
Yeah.
hi, thanks for the message, I'm Milagros, etc. And I think that's how we first made contact. So it would have been more or
It's
less
all coming
around
back
the
to me now.
end of October-ish, 2011.
That's
And
11.
actually today I was looking at my
crazy.
Facebook messages, and it
Did
was...
you find
I
it?
did find
Oh
it,
my
yes.
God.
So it was
Crazy.
actually to your account, so it would be towards the early November stages when we were like, I wrote you a whole message about like I wanted to know what your experience of Peru were, like your adoption journey, and let's arrange for a Skype call. So it was around in November that we had our first Skype call,
Nice.
2011.
That's crazy.
So that's that.
I don't remember exactly all the
No.
exchanges in between, like the little Facebook messages,
No.
or precisely how long it was from the time that
Mm-hmm.
we communicated through message to deciding to like, hey, like, why don't we Skype? But I do remember, like, before we got on the Skype call, I was like, this is kind of weird. Like,
Yeah,
maybe,
for sure.
like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. We weren't like, let's schedule an appointment to talk about like A, B, C.
No.
We were just like, let's like Skype.
Make contact with each other
Yeah.
first and introduce ourselves, and then take
That's
it
so
from there.
funny.
Because obviously I had no really prior experience with talking about adoption.
Yeah.
At that time.
And when we started talking, I was living in California at the time. I was working in Modesto in the Central Valley. I think we Skyped more frequently than we
actually
do now.
Yeah, it
but
was quite frequent.
maybe I want to say like maybe once every couple weeks.
Yeah, no, I think it was at least once a month we tried to
Yeah,
Skype
at
each
least once a
other.
month.
I do remember, even if it was just for half an hour.
Mhm.
I think the best time we were at weekends, because obviously the
Yeah,
time to
Sundays,
it was like 8 hours
yeah.
ahead. I was 8 hours ahead
Yeah.
of myself.
It was
of
always
you.
like my Sunday
So,
morning and
like,
your evening.
Exactly.
I remember my mom would always be like, "Who are you talking to?" And like I don't remember her like people coming into the room being like, "Who are you talking to?" So I'd be like, "My friend, like from the internet. Don't worry, mom, I'm totally fine."
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing, talking to strangers
Yeah.
and opening yourself. I think it's a bit novel because, like, for me it was like a great joy to find someone that was open. Well, first of all,
Yeah.
that was adopted from Peru, and second, that was open to discuss all these issues
Yeah.
and like talk about it in a reflective manner.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like once you get around your like where were you born, how were you born, how many brothers and sisters you got, all the
Like the basic,
like
yeah.
I find it's quite it's quite interesting to see, like, apart from all the like general information, like how one kind of perceives their adoption, able to communicate it to a stranger, really, and especially from a stranger from a different country.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was all really interesting to hear that, and
Yeah.
to say that I think like we communicated adoption in a very civil, in a very same reflective way. It wasn't more or less like, well, like this is the facts.
I think both of us spent a lot of time analyzing
exactly
it. Like we
I
critically thought about many
adoption.
pieces of our adoption from like our perspective, from our birth parents' perspective, from like kind of a general like systemic perspective, from our adoptive parents' perspective, from like other adoptees.
Because I've known you for 4 years, it's a considerable amount of time. I kind of found you when I was just about my family. I
Isn't that crazy?
Meet my family. I met my brother, but apart from that, I was just beginning to discover and unravel who my family was.
Yeah.
And so you've kind of like we've kind of talked about like the unraveling of my adoption journey as it's happened. So like I found them, went back to London, I went back to Peru, I met my dad, I met my siblings. You
met a bunch of other Peruvian adoptees.
Oh my god, I met lots of other Peruvian adoptees
from around the world.
I've been around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been kind of like a whirlwind of adoption experiences. So it's been great to have Analisa be able to discuss it and see it, and like being able to analyze different perspectives of my own, because I've come from obviously an environment where I'm not come from an adoption environment. So I've had to learn through these different experiences,
like the language around it.
So the language of adoption, like,
and you've done a lot of studying too. I mean, to your credit, it's not like just you and your personal experience and you're like, oh, like this is what I think, which is I think really great and really important as narratives, like as adoptees. Like we have to share that information.
Definitely.
But I also know that you've done academic research, you've ordered books, you've searched on Amazon, like you Googled things. You actually contributed to, was it a report or was it like a short narrative?
Yeah, I did a narrative of my book. Actually,
a little vignette.
That was it, in 2011.
Which is, to me, like that's,
I got it published.
Yeah, that's
like,
fantastic.
So
I think again, it speaks to the well-roundedness of things.
Yeah, so it's been like, it's good to have that perspective, because Analisa comes from American perspective where everything's so much different. But it's sort of like, obviously I'm not American, but it's okay, I can take facets of that and facets of the good things and stuff and develop it in my own particular British style.
Yeah, exactly.
And do it in my own environment as much as I can. So that's been a great joy to have that knowledge, like the adoption community, that's it, I never knew it existed.
I think that speaks to like Team Internet, like Go Internet, because I mean, when I was really young, I used to go into like chat rooms and stuff. And my mom was like, you cannot go into those chat rooms, it's so dangerous. Like, of course, like, do you all remember those like Dateline? Do you know Dateline NBC? Dateline NBC would have these shows, To Catch a Predator, where people would impersonate like young men or young women, then they would contact, but the police would be like on the other end of the chat room. It'd be like a sting. They'd be like, oh, like I'm 16, I'm at home alone, come over. And then they'd set up like a whole TV crew. They'd invite the people over, and then the like molesters basically be totally caught because they were like knew they were trying to have sex with like a 16-year-old. Anyways, long story short, that was going on when I was a child, and so my mom was very wary of me being online and me being on chat rooms and sharing information and talking to people that I didn't know. So I absolutely grew up with that kind of mindset of like stranger danger, internet can be a scary place.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't have, the same thing as me. I first entered Facebook in 2007, but I never really used it as a tool. Like I was so careful, like that's the last thing, because coming from my own personal environment, like stranger danger and all that, and also like I'm more cautious about who I speak to. And so I basically, what this has taught me regarding Facebook really and YouTube was that I had to sort of come out of a little bit out of my shell and have to trust in terms of the adoption community a lot more than I would have necessarily. So I kind of put a lot of trust and confidence that these individuals I'm speaking to are sort of like sane. Well, you know,
or at minimum that they're who they are. They say they are.
No one's not saying that they're adopted
and then they're like an old man somewhere.
So to date, I've not had any like dodgy experiences. Like, so it's just been
as far as impersonation. No,
I've never had any. Which is kind of like
this trip we went to go visit my older biological brother. He's my half brother, Michael, in Philadelphia, where he lives. and he kept teasing Milagros, being like, "Oh, you're her catfish, you're her catfish."
Oh, yeah, I didn't-
And Milagros was like, "What is catfish?" Because that's like a whole new phenomenon now.
Yeah.
When Catfish, the documentary, came out, which was basically chronicling the story of a young photographer in New York City who fell in love with a woman who was supposedly in Michigan, and she had like this whole family and friends network, and there was like this young daughter or whatever, niece, that was in the picture, who was like painting his photography. I mean, I'll cut to the chase, spoiler alert, that he ends up going to find her and realizes that it's totally a lie. It's been a totally different woman that's been impersonating all these people. There was like barely a shred of truth to any of it. So that's why my brother kept calling her my catfish, because we basically have only ever talked online. I was already doing the videos with Nuestra and Peruvian Adoptees for like the My IDU video series, which you guys should check out if you haven't yet. So it's like, I feel like we had validators of who we were and like of what we were doing in the adoption community.
Definitely. Yeah,
our community is pretty small.
Yeah, that's it. We're not as big as the Koreans or the Colombians or I don't know who else, you know.
Yeah,
but we're a pretty tiny community. But we do cover
but still strong.
A span of quite a number of countries, actually.
And I would say we're getting bigger because with this day and age of social media and social networking, more and more people are joining social networks to find communities, whether it's adoption community or others, that are kind of like niche and not really seen in mainstream media or mainstream communication channels, or, you know, like if you're in places like the UK where there's really nothing as far as post-adoption services, then yeah, you're looking to the internet because more than likely you're going to find it somewhere. Definitely. Like even if you can't find it physically. So it seems like we're like growing, you know. It seems, and a lot of the adoptees that are in our network are older. They're adults.
Yeah, for sure.
We've rarely met. There's some parents that have young kids. Like you met the Spanish group.
I see.
But
in Europe, emerging communities.
But we spent 4 years talking consistently online, and we did talk about eventually meeting up.
Yeah,
and we tried. When was that? What did we try to do?
2013. I thought of coming to California and joining one of your camps, but it's kind of really expensive to do this trip like I'm doing now.
Yeah, it was Holt Camp, right?
It was Holt Camp and stuff like that. It's really expensive.
And you were maybe going to come to the Peruvian Adoptees
Well,
camp?
first of all, I wanted to go to the Holt Camp in 2011, so even before I knew you, I'd applied
you knew
to
about
go.
it. Yeah.
I knew about it. But because my course was finished later than I anticipated, it meant that I couldn't go. But I was accepted to be a counselor.
Oh my god, I know that.
Yeah,
that's
everything.
so funny.
I did the application, everything. But my course
Shout out to Holt.
Yeah, I really want to go. And in 2013, I wanted to go to California, but I realized that it would have been a really expensive trip, and hadn't planned at that stage. So
I thought we were gonna like go somewhere together too, weren't we?
Yeah, we tried to go to Mexico, I think.
That's
Guatemala,
what it was. We were gonna try and meet up, and then I fell through on that one.
Yeah, so we have tried several times to meet up, but it
finally came through.
Yeah,
2015.
my little American tour.
Yeah, she like decided to go on this whirlwind tour of meeting all the adoptees around the world that she had connected with online through our internet community. I would say you probably know more than I, but from what I see, it's Nuestra and Peruvian Adoptees, and then the Peruvian Adoptees Worldwide Facebook group. We have the Facebook page, they have the Facebook group, but we're essentially the same people.
More or less both people.
Before we met, before Milagros came to Philadelphia and Florida, what were you up to?
Well, I had decided, I think when I was beginning to get to know more American adoptees, because you're the first American adoptee that I've known.
In person.
And
online.
Well, online. I'm online person.
Not in person.
But not in
person.
Right,
yeah.
Because you're the last actually American adoptee that I've met in person.
Yeah.
Which is ironic since you're the first
I know,
adoptee
it's so
I met.
funny.
Anyway. So I decided as the years went by, in 2013, I sort of I really want to plan this trip. At that stage, I didn't know too many adoptees. So I was like, well, it's doable. And then as the years went by, I was like, well, I'm beginning to know more and more American adoptees. And, I thought, okay, I'm going to do it this year, make it happen. So I'm a teacher. Well, I work in education, so I've got 6 weeks vacation off. So that was my idea, to combine what I was doing in Europe, basically visiting different Peruvian adoption communities in different parts of Europe, and getting to know adoptees in their own home country, and discussing adoption within them in their own environment. And I wanted to do the same in North America, so Canada and USA. So I kind of planned this trip through the States. So I started off in New York, Then I had a side trip to Bermuda to see a friend who's adopted. And then I went to Boston, met some adoptees. Then I went to see some family in New Brunswick. And then I went to connect with other adoptees in Canada, in Montreal, Quebec. So I met a few Peruvian adoptees in Quebec. And then I went to Chicago, I met a Peruvian adoptee. Then I went to Denver, I met 2 other adoptees. Then I went to Minneapolis, I met a Peruvian adoptee. And then I went to Washington, I met one, and Analisa, I met you in Washington. So
and then Philadelphia.
And Philadelphia, I met your brother.
Met my brother.
That's it. So basically, it's given me an insight to Peruvian adoptees in North America.
Yeah.
And it's been a great experience to have this and to meet people I've met online.
It was so funny because I actually wanted to vlog when we first met because I was like, oh my God, it's been years. This is so epic. We did like a whole video series together.
Yep.
We shared so many personal things together. We've been to Peru and back together. I've lived in like 3 different places, 3 different jobs, like 2 different boyfriends, you know, so we've been through all these different phases of each other's lives. I'm like, I have to film when we first meet each other.
Idea.
However, I came home, well, when she came to my house in DC, I actually ended up having to go to New York City, which is like 5 hours away by bus. So I was coming home, the bus broke down, like it was super delayed. It was like almost midnight by the time I got home. She was beat from her time traveling. I was beat from the work day, and we both came in. We're like, hey, bye. So we just like closed the doors and like went to sleep.
It's as though we weren't. I don't think we even gave each other a proper hug.
We didn't hug each other.
We totally
didn't hug each other. But I didn't even notice because I was just like, whatever. Like she's here.
Yeah,
I'm like, do you need water? Do you need anything? No, you don't. Okay, good night. I'm like, I'll buy our bus tickets. No worries. We'll go to Philadelphia tomorrow.
Welcome to. No, none of that.
No video, no pictures, no like joyous reunion.
Nothing. Absolutely, like I was like the dog.
In the morning though, we woke up, said hello.
Yeah, we said hello, we talked.
Like warmed up to each other.
You said our pleasant.
And it was so funny because like I literally left my key for her at my apartment.
Yeah,
so when I got home, she was at my house.
On the couch,
so it was like literally this person that I didn't even know in person.
And
I mean, I didn't really have any like one to vouch for me either.
She trusted me with her flat.
I was like, oh yeah, like there's
like,
my keys. Just go in. Like I'll be
happen.
home when I get home.
Yeah.
Then we got here. We went to Miami Beach first, South Beach, and I was in the waves and I was like, hold on a second, like we're meeting in person. This is so crazy, and had like a little flash of realization. But at the same time, I told Milagros then it doesn't even feel odd. Like I was like, it doesn't even feel like, oh, I need to like introduce myself. We were saying today, like it's past day 4 that we've been together now, and like that's quite a long time to travel with someone
when you don't know
them, and like also even
when
for your friends. Yeah, you know, it's kind of intense. But it's been good so far.
No, we've not had any major arguments.
No.
We just don't do that.
No issues.
Because you're actually my last adoptee.
The last adoptee stop.
Yes, my last adoptee stop. And like, I've been doing this thing for like 3 years or so, more or less. And I won't probably do another one after this. It's like I'm retired.
No more adoptee tours for you.
No, but like I think I'll have like profound experience. But because I think this is such a unique experience to meet people, I feel like I've had a really unique journey this summer, or you know, with adoptees. It's almost as though I could have never planned this.
Yeah.
Even 5 years ago or 4 years ago, there's no way in my mind that I could have said, do you know what, I'm going to meet an adoptee from California, I'm going to meet an adoptee from, I didn't even know Minneapolis existed, like, I'm going to meet an adoptee in Chicago, I'm going to meet an adoptee in New York, I'm going to meet an adoptee in Montreal, I'm going to meet There's no way that I could have foreseen this, and there's no way that I could have foreseen that people are really open towards meeting me, and this is a thing, like, obviously I'm open to meeting them, but also it takes 2 to work, like a friendship. And so I'm just really great that people are so open to me and so kind and so really gracious with me that literally I couldn't have done this without other adoptees, people's warmness towards me.
Good job, USA.
So
more
I
like
want
good
to
job,
thank everyone that's
community.
like helped me reach out to other adoptees that have accepted me and that have encouraged me to do this journey and have facilitated it, because it's like I'm coming from England and stuff like that. And so it's like a group experience for this to happen. I don't think it's just my individual experience. It's like people understanding where one's from and wanting to make something happen the individual.
Yeah, definitely.
And I believe that's what's so unique about the adoption community. Like, we're all adopted, and we all have our particular like situations and histories, and we all understand what it means to be adopted. And with those insights and with those reflections, we understand what it means. So when I tell people I'm doing this, that they understand what it means. I don't need to explain it to them. I'm going to have like a profound moment when I go, like when I leave, because I think I can't really do this journey again.
Yeah.
It's a bit like finding your birth family or going
Right.
to Peru again the first time. You can't never do it the first time again. I'm going to like go to my auntie's house and sob all the way home, sob all the way up to Naples. But like, seriously, I feel really, truly blessed.
Well, I think that too. I mean, I want to say thanks to you, because I personally felt like you came in at a point when my friend Lydia and I were setting up the Peruvian Adoptees group on Facebook and like doing reunions, and we were really trying to get the community together. I changed it so it was going to be global and not just like our small Californian group again, because I was like, I want to get everyone on the same page, at least in the US, and then like, you know, start connecting with people outside of the US that were adopted from Peru. And as I was kind of like phasing out of that, you kind of showed up and started being kind of the lead person that was doing a lot of putting your story out there, sharing information, sharing your experiences, reaching out to people, kind of being the point person for people that reached out to our page and the group. And I would say people kind of like know you for that. So that's really helpful and really nice, because that was always my intent with the group and like the YouTube channel and the page and everything, was like, it should belong to all of us. It should belong to the whole community. It's not like me and my project. It's not a California thing anymore.
It's
like,
not about that.
no, it's simply a platform for everyone to share their experiences, but it does need people to kind of like
And this is
push it
where
along
needs
and
to
be
continue.
facilitators. Yeah.
We need, not we, but the group.
We, the community.
The group seriously needs people who are willing to put this. Let's not put themselves on the line, because I don't think anyone's there to like cutthroat you.
Everyone's
but like,
been so
everyone
supportive.
Needs to hear from other people's stories.
Not just
and
me, not just you.
Like, I feel like it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about
The
being
experience.
safe experience. Everyone's got something to participate, and even if it's just a
Absolutely.
5-minute vlog, or even it's just videos, like with your
Right.
photos,
Or commenting on posts.
or commenting on posts. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is that from my personal experience, like my biggest like encouragement is for others to share.
Absolutely.
Like, this is so important, because we're not here alone. Like, we're not all made like to be by ourselves. Like, we're there to
No.
share and greet and stuff like that. So we really need people now today to be able to contribute their story, or not even if it's personal, like their reflection, what they think about what about
Reaction
Peru,
videos
or like
or
not even about their
anything.
adoption, like
Yeah.
what it means to go travel to Peru or
But just
anything
say
like that.
that you're a
But
Peruvian
just say something,
adoptee.
you're a Peruvian adoptee. Because I think, you know, particularly speaking to European adoptees, since I'm one, we don't have the means necessarily. I mean, we don't have like adoption camps. We don't have many resources within our adoptee countries. We might not have had encouragement growing up to talk about adoption with others, or even with other adopted children. We've not had that facilitated to us. And so now as adults, we're able to express ourselves. Wherever you're from, German, Dutch, or French, or Swedish, or whatever, like, it doesn't really matter. Those boundaries are sort of like fallen down. It's like we're adopted and that's all that matters. It would be great to see more videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I was so
because
excited. Every time
really,
I search Peruvian adoptee on
Exactly.
YouTube, I'm always hoping,
We
like,
really
please
need
have more videos pop up.
people
Please
to-
have it not just be me and Nuestra and
Because
Milagros.
even if it's just for the children that are coming up, you know, like,
Yeah.
think about all the children who've been adopted in the past 10, 15 years from like Spain, from Denmark,
Other Latin
from,
American adoptees,
you know, other
or just other
you know, from
international
other American
adoptions.
children all growing up now. And you know, they're going to be searching Peruvian adoptees soon, you know, and there might be like 8 now, but in a few years time, 12, they're going to be, all of them might already be doing it now.
Parents that are like, they want to
Yeah.
adopt, so they're also looking to see how can
What
they
it's
be good
like.
parents. What can they provide their children to have a positive growing up experience and
So-
provide them support.
Exactly.
So that's why we need to share.
We really need to help for the younger generation today, so that they have good role models. And it's not everyone's perfect, but they understand that there's always struggles and how we overcame them. And, you know, experiences in Peru, our experiences wherever we are, because let's be honest, being adopted from Germany, being adopted from the UK, being adopted from the US is totally different experiences. And I think parents need to know that it does affect where you're adopted from. So
And
they need
then,
to
like we
be
were talking
able-
about, it's
Yeah.
like within the U.S., it depends on which area you're
Area
adopted to, because
to.
then that's a very different
Exactly.
experience. Like
So-
even with her, it's like England, north, south, like that's a different experience
So
too.
really, we need more people sharing and exchanging ideas or commentating, because I do believe that maybe in the future, we could all come together and be able to offer something as a whole, as a community, because at the moment we can't do that because we're all
not
too
united.
separate. We're not united, so we need
Yes.
to be more separated.
Let's unite.
We need to be all together. Don't think I'm like wherever we're from. We're all one. We're all from the same family.
Yeah. Everyone thinks we're all related anyways.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear from other adoptees that are now having their own children, like biological children. Like, what's been your experience being a mom? Like, now you're a birth mom, you know? How does that feel? Like, that's a whole nother aspect of it as well. And I think that's something that is equally as important as,
very important,
at least for my kind of circle of friends. I mean, I go on Facebook and all I see is babies and weddings. So, like, that's what's happening now in our lives. And that's an important piece to look at and talk about and be there to support each other again.
Exactly.
Because that's the focus. It's not, oh, who has like the most views or who's like the most popular adoptee, like heaven forbid. It's just about sharing, supporting, uniting, showing that we have strength as a community.
And now we found a British YouTuber,
Yeah.
adoptee, who's
I was
willing
like,
to
I
talk
think you
about
know
it.
her.
And I was like, no, but like, think not about me, but think about people in their own different countries that you may not know that have been adopted. They might be by themselves,
Yep.
and they may not have any support network.
No.
And then,
At least in person.
At least in person,
But
you know. But
online.
like, online they do. I think, God, if I had these videos
Right.
growing up, even 10 years ago,
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I would have done things a lot easier, and therefore my adoption journey would have progressed at a much quicker stage, and my life would have progressed at a much quicker stage in general.
And I think that's
So-
why when I left that comment on your video, I was like, the whole community supports you. Because I wanted you to know, like, you're not the only one. You know,
Yeah,
there's so many of us
you
out
know,
here.
So there's so many individuals who think they're the only Peruvian adoptee, and it's not.
Or even just like the only adoptee period.
yeah, exactly.
Like, ever.
Yeah. So we don't want people to think like that. And
Feel
we want
alone.
people to feel alone. We want them
Yeah.
to progress. Well, we all want everybody to progress in their adoption journey.
Not to say that anyone in our group is professionals.
We're
However,
not
I do think that having that sense of support and that sense of community, even if it's online and you have people that you can share some things with, sometimes more freely than you can with just like other random people because they don't understand the adoption experience, it's much better, like Milagros said, to help others stay healthy, stay sane, know that they have options and resources out there and people who care about them or will listen to them at minimum. Like I said, like no one's a professional. Well, I don't want to say no one, but like no one's a adoption specialist in our groups. They're social workers or therapists, and it shouldn't be that way. However, we are a support group, and that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to be. And I think again, we just want to reiterate, like, share your story, put it out there. Share a tiny piece of it. Start small, you know. Start with the basics. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Definitely.
You know, do you have siblings? Do you know where you're from in Peru? Have you visited? Do you like it? Do you eat Peruvian food? Do people speak Spanish to you and you don't know how? Like, we want to hear about all of it. Well, I think this has been really cool, and especially kind of like a 2 years later perspective on our former video series that we've done, kind of exploring the adoption journey. We were both in different places then, and are continuing on in the journey. It's just like another phase. I don't think it ever ends. I think it just continues, and we continue learning more about ourselves. And for me, it's had its ups and downs. It's still so wonderful and so great to be connected to people like Milagros, and
Likewise.
so glad we had a chance to connect and
And
meet in
yeah.
person.
Finally. It's been a long journey, but it's been a great experience, and like I always say, couldn't wish for a better end finale to my journey.
Well, thanks for watching. Tell us when you share your stories, comment below, and promise us that you're gonna leave us a comment or share a memory or record
Share a
your own
photo,
video,
even if
share a
it's just a
photo.
photo. Photos are
That's
so-
your challenge. That's
Just
our
put a
call to
photo up.
action. Chain yourself to YouTube. Our call to action is for you to do something to share your story. That could be sharing a photo with us or in our groups or Facebook pages, or recording your own short video, or leaving a comment about your experience. You reach out to someone in one of the groups that is from your area and ask them some questions, or just ask to meet up in
Or
person.
plan a meetup.
Yeah.
Plan a meetup.
Be the one to organize in your personal, like, regional area. Start small. All
Great.
right.
Ciao.
Ciao. We're just here in West Little River, Florida. There's lots of interesting characters out here. So